Hello again. Thank you for joining me for another video. So I am here today to talk about bullying, and specifically if you've ever been bullied for your spiritual gifts. And chances are, if you were bullied for your spiritual gifts, you hid them, suppressed them, gaslit yourself into believing that they weren't genuine or real or beneficial, and you might have even been hiding them. There's one tarot reader on YouTube that I watch, that I've been watching for a number of years because she's a really sweet soul. She has very just nice voice to listen to, very soothing and calming. And if I am really, especially 4 or 5 years ago when I was really stressed often and it felt like I was going to be in that darkness forever, and I would watch one of her videos, and she was always very positive, and she could spin every little thing into it's just a lesson and you're going to get through it. But it really did start getting my mind to accept things that way, as that I'm just clearing painful things. So recently I watched one of her videos, and it was about spiritual gifts. What is your spiritual gifts? And I basically have them all. They're, I can't move objects with my mind, but in terms of the clairs, those have all, been active very intensely for a number of years, but always there in some capacity since I was young. And, so that, like, clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, those kinds of things. I know things that I don't know how I know, and so it's nice to have Google around because I can prove it now. When I was younger, there was no Google, so I would know things, but because I didn't know how I knew them, and I had no way to prove that what I was saying was true, I had no Google to look it up. There was a lot of bullying related to that, and any mention of channeling or mediumship. So I could communicate with spirits for people, and it would mostly just freak them out. And it would often happen when I was younger, and it would be like a party atmosphere. People were drinking and they were loose. And I think something about having that, those inhibitions lowered, made it a lot easier for spirits to show themselves. And then I was less inclined to be afraid to do it, and so I would often do that, and then they would love it in the moment, but then when I saw them again and they were sober, then they would avoid me like the plague and make fun of me, and I would get bullied in that way. I've had the whole point, let me get back to the tarot thing. So it was pick a stone and see what it means. And I think I have it over here. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. My calcite. And I've been curious about this because I was drawn to it. I saw it at a little crystal shop and I was drawn to it. And so that's one I picked. And her reading about, clairaudience and clairvoyance really struck a nerve with me, because it's not about needing reassurance anymore that the gifts are real. I know the gifts are real. I know, I've done 1,000,001 tests myself, for my own peace of mind and sanity, to know that they're real. But I was never able to use them really for other people. I wasn't able to do it as a profession. I wanted to when I was much younger. I really wanted to be able to help people with it, and I feel better when I do it. I feel a sense of zen and flow, and the flow state when I am doing that. But I couldn't get past the bullies. I couldn't get past the I had some very important people in my life who were hardcore materialists and did not believe that it was possible to bring information from the spirit realm in that capacity. And no matter how much no matter what would happen, what odd thing would happen, that would prove it was a genuine gift. I did readings for people, cold readings off of photographs, where I could, just read their whole um, imprint of what was going on in their life, what was beneficial and helpful, and what they needed to avoid, and so those are easy things to test. If I didn't know the person, you give me a picture, and from the picture, I know all of, I know the name of their boss. That isn't, there's proof built into it, right? But nonetheless, none of those things that happened with me in front of, a couple of these people, one was an ex, mattered. It didn't matter. It didn't really matter to my family. They weren't so much the bullying type, because my mom would have premonitions in her dreams, and so she understood that sometimes people have strange spiritual gifts, and you just listen. If something nudges you spiritually, you have to listen to it. But they certainly did not encourage me to do it as a profession, and it's something that I've always regretted. Wished was not that way. I think in a small part, I started this channel hoping to be able to use the gift in some way, but I haven't been able to get past the bullies who live in my mind now, since I'm no longer in relation with them in real life. I remember very clearly what it felt like to be rejected by them, and it still holds a little place in my mind, and it still stops me from being my full self. And something about the things she said in that reading really sparked like a fire in me a bit. With the new year coming, it's a new cycle for me, astrologically. A whole bunch of clearing and closures have happened for me recently. And so it's a good time for me to be a little bold about who I actually am, and stop and think about why I have given other people the right to withhold the right for me to be my authentic self in this reality. And we all have to get along with each other, and not step on each other's toes, but it's always been presented to me as if I was mentally unstable, as if it was a front to reality itself, as if I was unwell to believe that the spiritual world is real, and that to think that you have the gifts of channeling or mediumship or telepathy is the equivalent of being a charlatan, of being a thief, of being a liar. I think it's been, you can go on any channel that talks about spiritual things, and you will find people in the comment section who will, proclaim the idiocy of believing in any such thing. And I've never quite known how to make peace with that. I'm a peacemaker, I guess, in my heart, and it's hard to not try to find that harmonizing place. But there really is no easy solution to it. There is no common ground to that I'm really happy with. I can't continue to just give up truth about myself and get along with everyone else, because I could never actually get along in that world anyways. It's like, if you are gifted at piano, and everybody says, is deaf, and they say that there's no music, and you're just wasting your time because they can't hear it, do you give up the piano, or do you keep playing and hope that someone maybe farther off than you realize can hear it and enjoy it? So if you have spiritual gifts and you've been bullied for them, if people told you you were crazy, if they told you that it isn't possible. I know that there are researchers who look into these sorts of things now. It isn't as taboo as it was 20 years ago. So the other side of that is that there's just like loads of competition now, and you have to deal with that whole kind of uncomfortable realm of marketing and competing. But if you have spiritual gifts, I think it's important to, own it and not look at it as a detriment, not look at it as a bypassing or a inconsequential distraction. It's, if you're a painter, you should paint. If you're a precog or if you're a medium, you should do those things and stay true to the soul that you are. And I'm going to try really hard to do the same and be more forthright in my becoming. So hopefully you found some insight here and some encouragement, and may we encourage each other in becoming our true selves and settling into the spiritual being that we are while walking on this earth plane. So until next time, take care. Bye.